Well, hello everybody and welcome to How to Play Slide Guitar Part 3. Now in the first couple of videos I've covered a couple of the more popular open tunings for slide guitar, as well as information to help you decide how to best go about adapting your guitar to incorporate your slide guitar playing. Now we'll go through a few techniques which should help you along the way, and if you adapt them early enough it should prevent the usual mistakes that novices and some more experienced players make. So the first is the slide. Now usually when we play a note we place our finger behind the fret wire, pluck the string, and there we are. Now to play exactly the same note with the slide we have to place it directly above the fret wire to give the note we need. And the slide up, start about a fret and a half below and stop at the note you need. Has to be a nice smooth action. The most important thing about this is always place your fingers behind the slide on the string. Now the reason why we do this is to prevent that section of the string from ringing out, because all we want to hear is this section vibrating. So once you've got the hang of that, you can then start changing the speed at which you slide up to the note and the distance you follow. A slow slide can be evocative of all kinds of feeling. Think Paris, Texas. Once you've started to get the hang of this, we need to add a bit of colour to these notes, and the most popular way of doing that is by using vibrato. Now vibrato is quite a complex mechanism with slide, but once you get the hang of it, it actually is rather natural. The slide is oscillated above and below the fret you want, about half a fret either side. We use the weight of the slide and pivot about the wrist and fix the position with our thumb. Now it sounds rather complicated, but essentially if you just place the slide where you want your vibrato to start and waggle, always keeping your thumb in the same position, this keeps the central point of the slide over the fret. And we're using the weight of the slide as a pendulum. Now this can add depth to the note. It can also add a great deal of sustain as well. The note would usually die off relatively quickly, but we can keep it going with the action of the vibrato. Now again, we can alter the speed of the vibrato according to what kind of mood we want to evoke. A fast vibrato can give a feeling of anxiety or something along those lines, while a slow vibrato can give a feeling of peace or melancholy, whatever you want to evoke. By now you probably realise there's quite a bit more to the dynamic of the slide against the strings than you first thought, and essentially the guitar is out of control, so we can use this to our advantage. One of the ways we can do this is by the pull-off. A normal pull-off is very straightforward. You pluck the string and pull off with the left hand. Similar kind of action with the slide, but it's more of a flick. And in fact, if you play the string well enough, just lifting the slide off the string is enough to give you the open string behind it. Now sometimes we want to stop that note dead, and the way we do this is by leaving the fingers that we have resting on the strings behind the slide and lifting the slide off, in effect opening up like a door, and that will stop all the notes dead. That could be a part of a stop at the end of a verse, or part way through a run or an arpeggio, and I'll come to that in a moment. So you have the slide up, you have the vibrato, also have the pull off and the cut off. We can incorporate this in either or into an arpeggio. An arpeggio is a succession of notes in the same scale, played after each other. We already have that because we're playing in an open tuning, so we can utilise all these different techniques, the slide up, the vibrato, the pull off, to work within an arpeggio. And it really is as simple as that. So if you work on each technique step by step, you can start to build up a very comfortable, relaxed and natural technique, which is really what slide is about. So give it a try and happy sliding.